Hello, everybody. My name is Tucker, and welcome back to our Russian Fishing for Spin Fishing series. And welcome to a new body of water. Today we're over at Volkov. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time here today, just because it's not really the best idea for us. I will go ahead and grab the map on here for a quick 5 silver. So it is a river. There is a dam up here and a bridge down at the base here. You can get on a boat and go around. You actually have to get on a boat to get over to the campsite as well. But today we're going to run over here to the main thing, and that's the tackle store. So the tackle store at Volkov tends to have anything and everything you want, and it is a standard kind of price. So a lot of the stores have a modifier to the cost, and Volkov is kind of the 100% baseline for all of those. So some of them will be 105. Kuori is 120 for some things, 200 for others, that type of thing. But Volkov tends to be the base. And the main reason I came here is so that we can get the Dodger Crank 10 007, 44 silver. And then let's see what hooks it comes with. I don't know off the top of my head. I didn't plan this in advance. So it comes with size 1s. I'm going to go ahead and what are our options for treble hooks? We cannot use the Etalons yet. We can use the Zeniths. So I am going to go ahead and grab 2 size 1/0s for it as well too. So that's 90 silver in itself, and then 45 silver for the lure. So we spent 130 silver today, but I think it's very much worth it. And then I am actually going to go back to Kuori. I just don't think we have the equipment yet to be successful at Volkov and not tear things up. So today, since it's a little bit late, we'll take a quick look at the cafe. A couple of pellets, not likely to get that. There is the 4 1.6 kilo lake trout, which is good, and 590 gram Vindies. And that had about 30 hours, so close to midnight. We'll need to be back. As far as today, let's check a couple things before we get started since it's late. Start off looking at rod 2. It's at 8.5%. I don't think I need to repair or replace that reel yet. Rod 1, just while we're looking at things, is basically not worn at all. If anything, the rod is more worn than the reel itself. And then as far as our boat rental goes, we've got just over a day on it, so I'm going to go ahead and buy another 2-day. And then on rod 1, I'm going to replace it with the new Dodger Crank 10, and I'm going to make sure I've got my fluorocarbon leader on there after the past few episodes, just to make sure I don't do another dump. And we are getting started in the middle of the night, so it probably won't be the best fishing, but hopefully this leads to some bigger, better, badder fish. I do want a 15-meter clip on this rod. Turn my flashlight on for you all, and the standard 10-meter on this one. Get them both tossed out, and we'll see what we can do. It is mid-afternoon. Looks like we already have a fish on the new lure, so that's a good sign. I have lost the lure, and it looks like... No, this is a lake trout, okay. On another account, the first time I bought the lure, this same lure, the first fish that bit it was a pike and bit it right off. And I didn't have enough money to buy another one, or to even go to Volkov and buy one, so it was very disheartening at the time, but today at least we got a small lake trout to start with. maybe a little bit slow since it is kind of in the middle of the night right now. And not the best time, but it's when I logged in. It is mid-afternoon, my time. I'll be able to get this done. Get it uploaded before it gets to nighttime, which is always good. I'm not going to be scrambling around. Between episodes, you did not miss anything. I just literally logged in and went to Volkov. Especially when I saw that I was logging in, it was 2200. It made sense to go ahead and go to Volkov. So the one thing to think about is, which one is it? Is it this one? Yeah. Nope, it's the other rod. The Dodger crank does have a depth of 2 meters, so it's going to be 2 meters below the water surface. So you don't want to really be out in the 1.5 meter areas as much as possible, otherwise it'll be dragging the ground. Probably not attracting fish and potentially causing some wear to the lure as well. Small-eyed, not quite a marker, unfortunately. And that's part of the 2 meter depth is part of why I use a 15 meter flip on wobblers, is to give it that extra line to go down and still be about 10 meters behind. I did get a good question on why I'm looking at the HSV over the Alpha, and the one thing that I mentioned is making sure you check the line capacity. So if you haven't seen it, if you hover over the eye on any reel, it'll give you the line capacity at various sizes of lines. So if you look at this line, it's 0.19 millimeters thick. So 0.42 on this fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon tends to be the thickest, but it's also the most invisible line just because of how it's made. Braid tends to be the thinnest and most visible because of how it's made again. And finally, monofilament's kind of the good middle ground. That's why you'll see me, especially for spin fishing, use a fluorocarbon leader for fishing, is that it kind of just puts a lure invisible in the water to the fish. They can't really see your line around it. For carp fishing, it doesn't matter as much. In fact, I'll often use another eyed. For carp fishing, I'll often use a braided leader just because it acts more natural when they're attacking it. The fluorocarbon's a little bit more stiff, a little bit more stretchy, so it doesn't necessarily act like whatever they're trying to eat would act in real life. So kind of looking at that, at 0.2 meters or 2 millimeters, this reel can hold 245 meters of line. And when you look at the HSV versus like an Alpha, the HSV has a much bigger spool on it. And that, while here at Kuori doesn't matter as much, at Volkov, for instance, if you go south towards where the railroad bridge is, the river just keeps going and going and going, basically for infinity. And then there's parts where you kind of get out to the ocean as well too on other maps. So that extra 50 meters of line on an HSV makes sense there. Not as much here, but that's why a lot of people go for the HSV over an Alpha. And probably why I'm going to be targeting the HSV personally. Kilted Jock spreadsheet. You can just Google Kilted Jock. Kilted like the Scottish kind of skirt type thing. It has a great Google sheet that has information about all the reels on it. he breaks it down cost per kilogram, has the hidden mech weights for most reels, and then also shows the line capacity. Basically, when you look at that, when you hover over it and you look at that eye, it tends to show the same line capacities for all 2000 series to be the same, all 4000, all 6000, all 8000, and all 10,000. And Kilted Jock does the same thing with his. I think for the 8000 series, I think he uses 0.42 millimeter line as his analysis point to show that. So just Google Kilted Jock Russian Fishing 4 and you can find it. It's a great resource. I use it all the time. It's got the real information. It's got some successful ground bait recipes. It's got some distances as well on some of the maps so that you know how far you need to cast to get to various holes. Later on, it also includes, and more for carp fishing than for spin fishing, it includes the bottom type of the body of water so that you can see, are you fishing in sandy or gravelly or silty? And then you kind of want to match up parts of your equipment to that type of bottom so that it's, again, kind of camouflage. So a lot of good information in that. It's been around for years, so just Google Russian Fishing 4 Kilted Jock and you can find it. He also does some streaming and videos as well too. And we got a good fish on here. Big-eyed. 2.275 kilo eyed. Nice fish. I did have to chase that one quite a bit. Eyeds are pretty rare for us right now, so I'm kind of impressed to be catching the big ones. That was just on the Aquila. Looks like another Arctic char here. Small one. I was reading a quick work email there. Also the middle of the night in game, so good time to be reading those. So we're about 15 minutes in, although parts of today, probably about 5 minutes of it was stopping at Volkov. So I'd say we're probably about 10 minutes into the episode. We've got 5 fish. Pretty good quality fish as well. Got a fish on the noodler. Good Laker here. 1.4, not quite big enough for the order, unfortunately. Another smaller one, unfortunately. There's a 1.6 kilo Laker order that I'm hoping to make. We need 4 of them. Looks like a grayling. Maybe? Yep, small grayling, unfortunately. There's a Vendy. 167 gram, not bad. Right now, I'm just letting the fish take what it needs. Trying to keep rod 1 dragging. Crawling behind the boat. Without having to chase rod 2. I'm gonna have to chase 2 though. Yep, I'm gonna have to chase it. So I'm intentionally turning a little bit slowly so that I'm not letting rod 1 just drop. I'm letting the lure kind of slowly follow behind the boat. I do have another Lacerti ready to go, repaired. So if we burn this friction brake up a little bit more, that's fine. I tend to like to repair them somewhere between 10 and 20% wear. And it's cheap enough. It's 30 silver, so that's not that big of a deal. Bit of a risk here letting rod 1 possibly get some slack. But I want to get this fish in so I can get this back behind us again. Or sorry, rod 2's getting slack right now. Luckily the fish was still pulling pretty good, so didn't get a whole lot of slack. And also earlier I held control and press right click, so you do that kind of jerk. That tends to help set the hook in the fish's mouth. Give you a better chance of staying in the fish's mouth, not slipping off. Doesn't guarantee it by any stretch of the imagination. Still haven't seen this fish, so I don't know what it is. It's probably a trout with the way it was jumping. I'm getting into some areas that can be shallow, so I'm gonna be a little careful with rod 1. Actually taking advantage of the fact that there's a fish on it. Turn the boat around. Aw, fish slipped off. So since I know I'm going to turn the boat around, I'm just going to cast out. That'll be behind us. I hit something. I did. Crap. Not what I want. Let's get this perch in real quick. Toss this out. Let's see if we need to be chasing. I don't know if we do. I may use the boat being stuck to my advantage here. Because if we can overpower this trout, which it looks like we can, not moving is going to be good for us. So there's our first 1.6 kilo. When we hit the rock wall, a small fish got off the line. I'm okay with that. It was a small fish. Looks like another perch here. Small perch. Looks like another decent sized perch. General's on the Vindus. He's gotten a couple big ones. He, she, they. Another perch. Unfortunately, the new lure seems to be a little bit slow so far, but it's still not even 10 o'clock, so we'll see. And while the kilo's quick, it's not catching a lot of good quality ones. It's gotten some decent ones, but then some crappy perch and that small Vindy. But one big Savan, one big Kuori char, one big Arctic char can make up for it. Looks like a decent grayling, maybe a marker. It is good. Wish it was closer to a kilo, but is what it is. Looks like another Arctic char to me. Might be a Laker. No, it's an Arctic. So, about 27 minutes in, probably 22 minutes of actual fishing. We got, I'm going to say 20 fish because this perch is now in the boat, so 20 fish in. A little bit slow, but again, this is targeting a little bit bigger fish, hopefully. So, I'm not entirely surprised it's a little slower. We have got big-eyed too. We only have one of the lake trout we need. This might be a marker grayling. It is just barely. It was actually below what I thought a marker came in at. But a marker was 500 gram. That was below 500 gram, but still a marker. And if you don't know what I mean by a marker, it's that green check mark, marker, tag, whatever you want to call it. There's the sound I want to hear. Rod 1 pull and drag, although I don't think I've changed the friction brake on it yet. So it's still probably at 16. That is. That's still a good sign. Remember I said you can get some big pike? 2.734. Not the rod I wanted. 2. There we go. Good grayling. Today's episode is just getting silver to make back the cost of that Dodger crank. And the additional hooks we bought for it. At least that's a goal for today. And probably paying for repairing this friction brake, because I bet it's going to be worn out to the point that we need to replace it after today. A decent Laker, but not quite big enough for the order. Probably gonna have to make some more tea soon too. I don't know for sure. I never know until I just run out. Looks like the mic occasionally is picking up the dog snore. And maybe the diesel truck driving by outside. It might have been a school bus actually. That time. Come on, fishy fish. Getting tired of chasing you. Well, I thought I had it, but I do not. I did luck the other reel. I just was laying weird on the water. Made me think I hadn't. Ran it either into the island or the wall here. I'm okay with that because I'm able to pull the fish in. It looks like the fish has given up. Another good laker. 2.96. Nice fish. It's 2 of 4. Sorry, had a couple sneezes there. Tiny laker is all I caught. Here we go. I like fish that pull in this area, and on this rod, that usually means either Arctic or Kuori char for me in this area. Usually Kuori. Which if that's pulling on this rod, that should be some good silver. Ah, I didn't set the hook and it popped off. Angry noises. Man. It's one of the downsides of using bigger hooks is if you get a fish that's just barely big enough for them, they can tend to slip the hook. That's frustrating though. Gonna be a good fish. We've got 2 1.6 kilo lakers. We need 4. Maybe number 3. Baby Arctic char. Obviously, do not recommend putting the fish rod over your head in real life. That, because if it breaks, it's going to go right into your head. Tiny perch. And I lost the fish on here while I was getting that perch. Knew that was a risk. That's unfortunate. And that's why you don't want your line to go slack. This might be good enough. Yep. There's 3. Just need one more Laker. Grayling. Turn, vote, turn. Decent Vendus. Crappy fish. Know if this is going to be big enough. I don't think it will. It is not. Dang it. Still got some spin fishing SP on it though, so we're up to 49.1 there. 139 gram Vindy. This one's not going to be big enough. Not even going to be big enough to be a marker. Perch, not even a marker. Unfortunate. I could see that perch coming up. That's why I stopped reeling. It was close enough that I knew I could get it. I don't think this is going to be a 1.6. Oh, 180 grams off. That's unfortunate. That was closer than I thought it was going to be. Another pike. I just realized it's Thursday. I'm kind of glad I am getting this recorded before nighttime. Something I like watching at 9 o'clock my time. Which, if I don't get this recorded before 5, means I'm recording at 7 o'clock. And then I still have to do the float episode afterwards, so I would be pushing past 9. Decent perch. Oh yeah, and I read what I want to watch is a super long thing as well today, so I'll probably be having to watch part of it tomorrow because I'm not staying up super late at night just to watch it. Ooh, you might be big enough. Oh, another one. 20 grams off. That's 2 that have been so close. Don't think this one's going to be big enough. It's a Swan though, 742 gram. So it was the wrong species even. .1 kilo liquor. Here we go. Depending on what this is, this might get us our liquor. Cafe order. I hope. Or I hope it's an orange boy. There's our cafe order. Good. That pays for the lure and half a hook. And a lot of small fish today, though. As I hook a pretty decent one. The other thing to kind of think about if you are looking into reel shopping is in the past there has been a Christmas special event that they set up in all the towns, and a lot of times they have some pretty good reels there. I think Hilton Jock even has the stats on some of them in his spreadsheet as well too, and they're only available during the Christmas season. So with today being whatever month, December 1st, I don't know exactly when it's going to start. I don't know if it is going to start. I haven't seen anything, but we are getting pretty close to that if it is going to happen. I'm liking whatever's on here, though. That kind of jerking is me trying to set the hook just to give me a better chance of not losing whatever this is, since we've already lost a couple good fish. There we go. That was a good one. A good Arctic char. 2.929. Nice fish. Decent grayling here. 605. That's just a ripple. I thought I saw a fish coming for it. I don't think we've gotten... The order that was going to expire was a big Vindus order. It was 190 gram plus Vinduses. I think it needed 5 of them. We haven't even caught 5 Vinduses, so I don't think we're going to get that order. We should be able to turn in the lake trout order. And it's evidently roll upside down time. I didn't mean to select that one. I want to select that one. What I did there was I went to switch and I picked my 1-day ticket, which is kind of my emergency ticket that I like to have instead of the 2-day ticket that I really wanted to use when this one runs out. Lone fishy fish. Oh, we're committed to this fish now. Arctic char here. Smaller one. They're just pretty strong fish. Another good fish on this rod. That random jerk there was the dog shaking his head while laying on my hand. I think you heard his ears whacking the computer as well too. Hearing another odd pull drag too. I think it's rod 2 there. But we can't even set this down until we pull this fish in. It's a downside of using 3 rods. A little bit of a risk, but I was okay with it. think I just drug a fish over the island. Was the little plink sounds you heard, if you heard them. Yeah, it's definitely rod 2 that's pulling drag. Oh, come on, rod 3. Come on, fish, get in the boat. Don't dive, don't dive, don't dive, don't dive. Don't really want to stop the boat because then whatever's on the other lines have a better chance of getting off. Looks like I got it above water though, so I think this is mine now. Big rainbow, 6400 XP because of the bonus. Nice fish. Probably shouldn't have cast that back out, but too late now. Didn't realize how long the episode had been. Should have because it's after midnight, but whoops. Decent lake trout here. Another just barely over 1.6. I will take that. Means we can save one of our bigger lakers for the fish market. Another just under 1.6. I'm glad I've gotten the order, otherwise the 3 of them would really have me upset. I am basically heading into the dock now. I just need to get on the other side of the island first. It's another good eyed. It is. Third marker eyed. Ow. So 64 fish. We're at basically 65 minutes of fishing. It turned out not bad from a quantity of fish perspective. I'm going to say 140 silver before cafe orders. As a guess, we'll see. Alrighty. How bad is this reel now? Yeah, 15%. So I do need to drop that off to get repaired. So we'll just switch it out with the least worn out one, which I don't know which one that is right now. Because I didn't fully fix it. So it's not that one. It's the one that has 4.6% wear. Yeah, friction brakes lower, but there's at 0, but the mechanism and the grease are lower than the other one, so made it hard to see that. So we'll go over here to the fish market real quick. I'll put that away so I'm not dangling out in front of you. Still say 140-ish silver is my guess for the day. 143, not a bad guess, Tucker. That rainbow trout was 18 silver. The Arctic char, ides, greenlings, usual suspects there. So we are at 113.27 right now. We do have the lake trout order, which we're going to sell over here. Thank you, Amazon. I don't even know what that is. So it's 60 silver for that. Definitely worth it. Didn't get 2 3 kilo pikes. Didn't get a 4 kilo eyed. No minnows, roaches, burbits, pellets, and no big vinduses. So 1327. We got, I'm gonna say 60 silver, another 119. So 179 silver for the day, 178 silver. Not a bad day. Up to 1500. Still have a ways to go before we can afford a new reel, but I think we're on the right track. And I think as we are able to, that Dodger crank will help. I am going to go ahead and drop off this reel to replace the friction brake. Anything else super worn? I'm going to go ahead and replace the gear oil as well too. So that means we're not going to have that for 2 days. But with it at 7%, I think that makes sense. The rest of it is fine. So 45, 46 silver. If I can fight the dog to be able to push that. So back down to 1460, but good overall day. So I appreciate everybody watching. We'll be back again tomorrow. Hope you all have good tight lines between now and then, and we'll see you then. Bye bye now.